I served during the Korean War. I got there in early '53. I was what is called a ground radio operator. You could have a radio operator in a plane, airborne or just ground. I was a ground. We arrived in Japan. It took 15 days by boat to get to Japan, and then Japan brought us to Seoul. What I remember roughly is that we left Japan, and I believe it was a C-125, which is called a flying boxcar, but I could be wrong. It's been so many years. But we lost two of the engines. They just fell off the plane. We had to turn around and go back to Japan. Later found out this was not an uncommon practice at that period of time with that weather, whatever was involved. So anyway, we get to Seoul, and at any time I never had any idea where we were going, nor did anybody else. And crossing the ocean, nobody had a parachute, so except for the pilot. So evidently, even losing two engines, this was not also an uncommon thing, but it scares the hell out of you at the time it is happening. You could imagine the first time, you leave the United States and it's all peaches and cream, and then you get to Seoul. And where we were at in a Quonset hut, there was just salamanders and potbelly stoves to keep you warm. Our air base there was a small base. Our radio station consisted of, as it turned out, 4 guys. We used to rotate shifts and turns and whatever. And you're living in a Quonset hut. You had electricity running off generators, but as it turned out, our mission basically, we were a weather reporting station, so every hour on the hour we worked with the weathermen. You don't like to complain about food because there was guys that didn't have any food, but the powdered milk and the powdered eggs, and I could never eat any of that stuff. We used to try and get canned goods whenever we could. I was fortunate, as it turned out, to get this particular base because we didn't do KP. We hired the Korean people. So we used to give the waitresses, who were school kids, 11, 12, 13 years old, whatever. That used to be like $2 a month. And so they would do all of that. And then we had our own houseboy, so he would shine our shoes and sweep and whatever. We did a lot of that stuff ourselves too. You try to keep as clean as possible. One of the things I remember is I went 15 months without a shower until I went to Japan when the war was on. You got to go to Japan 2 weeks for R&R. I only got to go 1 week because the war ended. We were never attacked. We were never, like I say, we worked with the Army medics. And as far as I could tell, other than the weather, our main purpose was to work with the medics, and we shipped out sick, wounded, or dead. Wonderful experience now that it's over. And I developed a great, great sense of appreciation for the United States, which I still have. And I eat everything. Everything I eat, no matter what it is, to me is delicious to this day. And I say that about hot dogs, pork and beans, or canned sardines. And I eat all that stuff all the time, and it all works well. I met a East Chicago guy that I grew up with in Harbor. I did know him at the time, but I knew the name Katsigeris. I can't even tell you how to spell it, except he's a Golden Greek. But we came home together, and his mother picked us up at the airport, and believe it or not, we went to Hot Dog John's in East Chicago for sloppy hot dogs. The mother insisted on a steak. The steak was too rich for us. We couldn't even eat it.